Hey, good morning everyone. Rob here from Southwest Florida Television. A really nice Monday morning here. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to snap off just a really quick photo here before I head out onto the beach. It's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Well, Saturday and Sunday, we saw some pretty darn interesting things here at the beach. Two different beach walks for sure. There's one of our dolphin friends out here to greet us already this morning. Let's see where he is. Looks like he's heading down the beach. Well, there's a couple of them out there. There's two dolphins out there already this morning. See if we see them come up. I really can't read the water. There's one of them. See where he comes up. See if we see him again. There's one over by that. There he is. There's one was just behind that little buoy out there. What a great way to start a beach walk, huh? Seeing a couple dolphins. Wow. What a great start. See if we can see him pop up one more time. There's one. All right, they're getting pretty far out there. We're at low tide right now, by the way. Low tide, and yes, still have the red tide warning in effect. We're still under the red tide warning, unfortunately. Being low tide, see where these waves are breaking out here? That's where the sandbar is. All right along here. It's probably too shallow for the dolphins to get in close this morning. But you never know. I still see eels out here on the beach. I still see eels. There's one right down here. Lots of dead crabs on the beach. And I figured that was going to happen. All these crabs that we were seeing out in the water, they were eating the fish that were contaminated by the red tide, so they're going to die. So now we're going to start seeing lots and lots of dead crabs on the beach. So sad. So sad. At least we got to see a dolphin first thing off the bat. There's a couple of them down to the south plain, way far down to the south. Maybe they'll make their way back up here. There's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of little dead crabs on the beach now this morning. Remember all those little dark spots we were seeing in the water? The little baby crabs. Well, now they're all dead on the beach. all starting to die from eating the rotten fish that died from red tide. If it's not one thing, it's another. If it's not fish, it's eels or crabs. This red tide is taking its toll on everything. I'm not having any trouble breathing here. Haven't had any breathing problems the past couple days. Now, if you got allergies or whatnot, you might have some problems breathing. But what I smell more is just the smell of like dead fish than red tide, unfortunately. Well, we already saw 2 dolphins. We're going to see any more this morning. Waiting for that sun to come up over the trees to get a look at the water here. It doesn't look as bad as it was over the weekend. Looks a lot better. Still see some crabs all down here running around. Hard to tell though until that sun pops up. What do you think of our friend Roy? Did you see the video I did with him yesterday over at his house? Boy, is he ever happy to be at home. He has gotten quite a stack of greeting cards or get well cards. Keep them coming. They definitely help. It's nice to know you're loved. So again, we're at low tide right now. We still got our problems here. We got dead critters on the beach, crabs, eels. I haven't seen any dead fish, thankfully. Somebody said when these eels are up on the beach like this that they're laying eggs. There's another eel right there. They're just kind of scattered all along the beach here. Some of them still wiggling around. Oh, sad. There's a big, looks like a leopard crab over here. Darn it. It's sad seeing all of this dead stuff. It's dying. There's a leopard crab. Sadly, it's not looking very good. Beautiful, beautiful leopard crab. It was on its back. Not doing very well. It's a calico crab, also called a leopard crab. Absolutely beautiful animal. I've never seen one that active, even though it was on its back when I came up to it. Very neat animal. Over here is unfortunately a dead flounder fish washed up on the beach. Ugh. So sad seeing these things sick and dying. There's our leopard crab again. I'm gonna take a quick picture of them. Hang tight, don't go anywhere. Give you one more look at them. The leopard crab. Calico crab, nicknamed the leopard crab. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure the poor thing's dying. I'm going to turn around. I want to walk north. I want to try and get up to that sandbar this morning up in Area 4. Yesterday morning, I didn't get out of Area 2. And that was mostly because of the dolphins. Boy, we saw an incredible number of dolphins yesterday. That's the most dolphins I've ever seen in one morning during one of my beach walks here. I've been doing them for, I think, about 3 years now. That was the biggest amount of dolphins I've ever seen. They just kept coming. I do see crabs out here in the water. Still a couple blue crabs, 2 of them, but not nearly as many as the past couple days. Saturday, you've got to watch Saturday's video. It was just incredible. The number of crabs out here on the beach, or actually in the water. The number of crabs in the water. The number of crabs, or the number of eels in the water. Just unbelievable. Be sure to watch Saturday morning's video. And then watch yesterday, Sunday mornings. I just spent my morning running up and down the beach following dolphins. Now, sadly, we're starting to see all the little crabs, all those little baby crabs we saw on Saturday and Sunday in the water dead on the beach. And I had a feeling that was going to happen because the crabs, they're just eating all the dead fish that have sunk down to the bottom, that have died from the red tide. So of course the crabs are going to die. But now they're starting to wash up on the beach. And I mean, these are little teeny tiny baby crabs. Little tiny blue crabs. I don't see any right here. I don't see a lot of them. I see them kind of scattered out, but there was some piles of them along the beach here. So here's a couple of them. There's one on its back. There's 2 of the crabs right there. Right behind them, a beautiful kitten paw shell.
Beautiful kitten paw. Look at that. That is a nice kitten paw shell. Comes a couple more dolphins heading our way. You see them pop up. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3. Whoa, did you see it jump up there? Splashing around. Here comes a pod of them. Just when I thought I was going to be able to make it up the beach. Where you guys at? They're kind of spread out all over the place here. There's 4 or 5 of them out there. Come on, where are you guys? Not a lot of light out there yet. Oh, there's 5 or 6 of them out there, maybe even more. There was 2 just came up there. There's 1. They're staying offshore. They're on the other side of the sandbar this morning. We're at low tide, so it's really shallow. Where'd you guys go? There's 1, 2. Huh, where'd they go? They're taking their sweet time coming up. I hope you can see them. As I said, they're pretty far out there. There's 1. Gosh, that's our second sighting this morning. Where are you guys at? They're staying under for a while here. There you go. There we saw a little group of them. So they're heading down towards Vanderbilt Beach, heading south. A little family of dolphins out there. How neat. So neat to see these guys in the morning. Again, they're pretty far offshore this morning. They were a lot closer yesterday morning. Wow, love it. So that's our second dolphin sighting this morning. We saw 2 first thing when I got out here this morning. Saw 2 dolphins. Now we just saw a nice little pod. I don't know how many were actually in it. There's some further out. I think there was at least 5 of them, if not more. I just saw an eel swim up on the beach. Came up in the wave and went back in the water. So we still got the eels out here in the water. And again, all the crabs we were seeing in the water, now we're starting to see them dead up on the beach. That's to be expected with the red tide here. Just about anything that eats that contaminated fish is gonna die. They're just all along here. Hopefully the birds don't eat this stuff. I don't see any birds out here. Ooh, I see another dolphin out there. Saw the water swirling out there. Was it another dolphin? Or was it a big fish jumping out there? Saw the water swirl. Just out of the corner of my eye. There's another dolphin up here. I don't know which way he's going. Usually this time of the morning they're going to be coming to the south. Where'd he go? It was a big one. It looked like a lone male out there. The males usually kind of travel by themselves, the females with the babies, or sometimes they'll just travel in a pod. Like a little happy family. I don't know where he went. He jumped up out there. I don't know where he went. He's out there playing in the water. They can stay under for quite a while. Huh. Interesting. He disappeared. Well, it's just really nice to know the dolphins are out here. Very happy to know the dolphins are here. Haven't seen any manatees. We do get big groups of manatees, big pods of manatees on occasion, just come making their way along the shore, swimming up or down the beach. I think that dolphin is swimming up to the north. I think I just saw him way, way up there. This is the north end of Area 2 Beach here where I'm at. By the way, we're up in North Naples at Del Norwegians Pass State Park. For those of you that don't know. Any of you that are new to our beach walks here, please introduce yourself to the group. Let everybody know where you're watching from. It's fun seeing where everybody's from here. Lots of dead crabs on the beach this morning. Wow, yesterday morning, did you see that picture of the lobster? First time I ever saw a lobster here at the beach. It was a really pretty good size one too. It was a big lobster. I was amazed. It's sad what this red tide is doing, driving all these bottom dwellers up to the shores. The crabs, the eels, flounder. Saturday we saw flounder all up and down the shoreline. It was terrible. Very low tide again right now. Well, I'm not seeing any birds out here. Just saw that dolphin. A dolphin popped up out here. See if we see him come up again. Looked like one. See if he comes up. There he is. Oh, two of them. Two of them heading north. Where'd you go? One, two, three. Three of them. It's hard guessing where they're going to come up here. One, two. Here's the third. Three. So cool watching these guys in the morning. They've been pretty active lately too. They're pretty far out there. I'm pushing this iPhone to its limit here. So that's our third dolphin sighting this morning. Where'd they go? We're on the edge of the frame there. Hanging around by that marker. All right, well, maybe we'll get a closer this morning. Maybe we'll get a little closer encounter with them this morning. They are way out there this morning. They are out past the swim buoys. Getting bit by mosquitoes here. A couple rogue mosquitoes. Red tide warning still in effect. Still dealing with that nasty red tide. Still seeing our eels up on the beach, our eels dying up on the beach. Three dolphin sightings already this morning. One right off the bat as soon as I got out to the beach. Saw two of them. There's three of them still playing down to the south here. Ugh, look at all these eels. Look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Unbelievable. Look at them all. There's a good range of size. You can see how they vary in size. Getting eaten up by no-see-ums here. No-see-ums and a couple mosquitoes.
Ugh.
I'm sure there's a lot of people here in Southwest Florida that have been freaked out by the sight of all these eels on the beach. And they're probably never gonna go back in the water again. But that's kind of silly. I mean, the eels have been here forever. Now that you see them, it's a whole different story, I guess. Believe me, these eels that we're seeing washed up on the beach, they don't want to be around people. They don't want to be around us just as much as we don't want to be around them. Just sad. What's really sad is I knew it was going to happen. All those beautiful crabs we were seeing out in the water, those blue crabs. Of course, they're eating the dead fish, the fish that were contaminated with the red tide. Now they're washing up on the beach. Look at this. There's a stone crab, and it's full of eggs. Now it's dead. A female stone crab full of eggs. Now she's dead on the beach. There's a blue crab dead over there. Lots of different crab species dead on the beach. Earlier this morning we saw a beautiful calico crab, a leopard crab, dying on the beach. And there's nothing you can do. I mean, that's the bad part. You're just helpless. Anything you see washed up on the beach, if you throw it back in the water, you're not helping it. It's gonna die. It's not a very pleasant way to go either. This is where those dolphins were that we were watching when I was zoomed in. They were just offshore out here. I don't see them now. I think they made their way further up the beach. Well, actually, a couple shorebirds here. Here's a little snowy egret. Hopefully these birds don't get sick and die from eating the fish. It's one of our more popular little shorebirds there, the snowy egret. I don't think he's going to find much out here. I don't think there's many fish swimming around out here. I think they're getting kind of desperate. Another stone crab with eggs in it. Another dead stone crab. Piece of the egg sac hanging off the back there. Horrible. More eels. Still writhing on the beach here. This one was just wiggling around. Oh, I missed my beach walks, walking along the beautiful beach, picking up seashells, telling everybody about the gorgeous shells out here. Instead, we're looking at dead eels and crabs. worm shell. There's a pretty nice little worm tip, a worm shell. Not the most pleasant conditions to be shelling in. Look at this. This is all baby crabs, all dead baby crabs. These little brown things down here, all dead crabs. Piles of them. Piles and piles of them. Terrible. These are all the crabs that we saw Saturday. Check out Saturday's video. The beach was just covered with crabs out in the water, just offshore, just thousands and thousands and thousands of crabs. Now they're coming up, washing up dead on the beach. Same thing with all those eels we saw on Saturday. An incredible sight. You need to check that video out. Saturday and Sunday's beach walk videos. We've had 3 dolphin sightings so far this morning. One right when I came out. We saw 2, then we saw a pod of 5 or 6. Then we saw a little pod of 3. I'm thinking we might see some more out here. They might be back. They might make another appearance. There's a big, looks like a piece of a big dead sponge. Too bad. Everything's dying. Our coral, our sponges, our fish. When is this red tide going to release its grip on us? A beautiful little snowy egret flying by. Last week, go back and watch the videos from last week. The beach was full of life, full of fish, full of birds. We were so excited. The red tide was moving away. The fish had returned. Seagulls, pelicans, terns, beautiful shorebirds, all lining the beach. And now, guess what? Once again, look at the beach. It's a deserted mess. This time of the morning, the beach is usually quiet, but there's normally someone out here besides myself. But not this morning. Oh, here's something. Is it what I think it is? Looks like a mangrove. A mangrove seed that had sprouted and is growing in a piece of seaweed. That's pretty cool, a little baby mangrove. I believe that's a mangrove. That's cool. Never seen one of those washed up on the beach. Next to it, a little olive shell. A little small olive shell. Even with all this ugliness, you can still find a little beauty out here. A nice little olive shell. Earlier, I found a nice little kitten paw shell. Really nice one, had some really nice color. A little kitten paw shell. It's nice to find some shells and see the dolphins. We still have a few sea turtle nests that haven't hatched yet. We had a record number of loggerhead sea turtle nests on our beach here this season, this nesting season at Del Norwegians. There was nest number 60 up here. Sadly, this red tide has thrown everything out of whack here. And what's happened is the raccoons that are normally just scavengers and they stay up in the woods were starving because there was no people here leaving trash out after their picnics or even putting trash in the trash cans. The raccoons know how to get into them. So the raccoons resorted to coming out and digging into the sea turtle nests and digging up the eggs. So we lost quite a few eggs. Hopefully they didn't get to all of the eggs in the nests. Hopefully there's some here that are going to hatch. This was one of the last nests, number 60. But we're at the end of the season. I believe they can nest. They'll come up onto the beach up through August. And then it's a couple months for the hatching. Any shells out here? Anything besides dead eels and crabs to show our friends? Hey, if you're new here, let everybody know where you're watching from. Say hi to the group here. We've got a lot of friends here. We've got some friends that have been following for quite a while now, watching the evolution of my beach walks. It started out as just me out here at sunset with the iPhone on the tripod, which I keep saying I want to do again. I'd love coming out for sunset, but I just run out of time. Where's those dolphins? Really, really flat out there in the Gulf this morning. Makes it really easy to spot the dolphins when it's this calm. Our park rangers and volunteers have been doing a pretty darn good job of keeping the beach clean. It's a never-ending battle here with the red tide. I mean, there's always something washing up on the beach. Here's a couple fish. I mean, there's so much dead marine life out in the Gulf right now. Just floating out in the Gulf and also just decaying on the bottom. So even if the red tide goes away, there's still gonna have dead fish washing up on the beach. Sad. Here's a bigger olive shell. Missing the tip here. That's another nice olive shell. Did you check out Roy's video yesterday? Playing his harmonica for us. He's so happy to be home. He's loving all those cards. Did you see all that tray full of cards? Is absolutely amazing, all the cards Roy has gotten. Keep sending them though. It's not gonna hurt anything. It really lifts his spirits when he sees how much love there is out there in this world for him. Just for him. There's so many kind people. So many kind people following along here. And we're all basically strangers to one another. I really don't see anybody out here with me. I don't see anybody else out on the beach. I saw one of our park rangers earlier. I was hoping to maybe see a dolphin up here at this end of the park. We did see three. We had 3 encounters so far, 3 sightings this morning. Saw a couple different little groups of dolphins. We saw 2, then we saw 5 or 6. I couldn't count how many were in the pod, the second pod that we saw. Then we saw another little group of 3. Maybe we'll see them come by again. Maybe we'll see a different group. They can get really playful at times out there in the water, jumping up and down, especially with the young ones. Right now though, see, we're at low tide here. So the dolphins can't get in as close to the shore. I mean, sometimes they'll come right up to the beach. I got some videos that are just unbelievable of them just coming right up onto the beach. But there's a kind of a sandbar off where that little buoy is out there. I don't know if you see that little white buoy. There's a sandbar runs pretty much all along the beach, and at low tide, it gets just a little too shallow for them to come over to this side of it. But you never know. If they're chasing a big fish, they'll go right over a sandbar. I mean, they will actually chase a fish up onto the beach and grab it and go back into the water. They are amazing, amazing animals, those dolphins. You know, the water's still kind of murky up here. I was hoping maybe it'd start turning around. With this red tide and Lord knows what else is out there now. We need strong offshore winds to blow it away from us. What do we got down here? Is this a little fighting conch in good shape, or? Nope, it's got a big hole in it. I'm gonna wash it off. It's got some really Really neat colors on it. There's a Florida fighting conch shell. See, it's got a big hole in it. These are fairly common here, the fighting conchs. This one's kind of worn down. They usually have sharp tips on them here. The Florida fighting conch. Here's another little, just caught my eye. A couple little kittens' paws. You can find them in all different colors, these little kittens' paws. Sizes and colors. All kinds of little shells here. You never know what you're going to find here with these little piles. Sometimes you find some really neat little baby shells. The things that we like to find, the big ones, the big lightning whelks and whatnot. Sometimes you find little tiny baby ones here. This slipper shell. This is kind of almost a round slipper shell. This is a sad sight here. A week ago, for a couple weeks, this sandbar I'm on, this little point here, was just covered with birds. Now they're all gone. Forced away, forced to go somewhere else to look for food because of the red tide. There's some pelicans out there. I don't know if you can see them. A group of pelicans flying by. Surprised to see them out here. What is that, a jack? A pompano or a jack dead on the beach? What is that? You fishermen out there, you'll know what that is. Succumb to the effects of red tide. I think I saw a dolphin all the way down to the extreme far end of the beach. One dolphin jumped up way down at the other end of the park. You see a couple people down there walking. There's a mile of beach here at Del Norwiggins. Oh, sad. Here's a big flounder. That's a flounder fish there. A dead flounder. They kind of lay flat like that on the bottom of the gulf. That's its head up here, its mouth. Both eyes are up on this side of the head on the flounder. Flounder. More death. More death as I walk around. See puffer fish and catfish. Crabs. What a sad, sad sight. Come on, dolphins. Come by here and give us a boost of happiness. little scallop shell. These are pretty. We have lots of scallops on the beach here. Well, we did. I don't know, with this red tide, I don't know what's going to happen to our shells. Because remember, these shells were home to some kind of living animal at one time. And that's what's left of a scallop. Nice little scallop. I'm up in area 4. Started down in area 2 this morning, kind of walked down to area 1 and then turned around and came back up. We did see dolphins this morning. If you're just tuning in, we did see some dolphins already this morning. Still keeping my fingers crossed, hoping to see maybe a couple more before we sign off. There's a nice worm shell over here. There's a nice little worm shell. Nice dark one, nice color. The worm shell. Haven't seen any moon shells, not even broken ones. Moon shells, also called shark eyes. There's a turkey wing. The old turkey wing shell. This is where our friend Roy would hang out. This is where I'd come up and have my little chat with him up by these trees up here. Really looking forward to when he returns to the beach. It's gonna be a while before his leg heals. But fortunately it's healing, thank goodness. He's on the mend. That's good news. Things heal a lot slower when you're 93 years old. Here's a piece of a shell from a leopard crab. Earlier in the video, we saw a leopard crab on the beach. You want to check that out. Remember, these videos are always posted for replay on Facebook, and I also put them on YouTube, so you don't miss anything. A broken lightning whelk shell, piece of a lightning whelk. Beautiful shells, the lightning whelks. There's just a piece of one. Another beautiful shell I see a piece of down here are the banded tulip shells. There's one that's missing its top, banded tulip. Those are beautiful shells. This is one of the shells I'd like to find a nice big one. I have some small ones, but not a big one. All kinds of neat little stuff down here. The shells are really spread out here too. Takes two people to cover this sandbar thoroughly. Is that a nice whelk over here? It looks like yeah, that's a nice lightning whelk. That's a keeper. A little ragged, but it's a keeper. I see a little one up here. A little baby one. What does that one look like? Yeah. There's a little baby lightning whelk, another keeper. Got some chips in them, but so what? They're fun to collect. Great conversation piece. Lots of worm rock out here. That stuff's always neat to look at, the worm rock. There's a chunk of worm rock. You can find lots of that along the beach. You can also find lots of little baby Florida fighting conch shells. These little ones. You usually find these up and down the beach.
Good morning.
Good morning. Still don't see any dolphins. I was hoping we'd see another pod swim by. So flat out there this morning. Just incredibly calm. Incredibly flat. I showed you a slipper shell earlier. It was kind of a weird shaped one. Here's a little bigger one. There's quite a few of them actually down here. But they're real smooth, the slipper shell on the top side, the outside. And when you flip it over, see how it looks like a little slipper? That's how they get the name, the slipper shell. The slipper shell. It's like a little shoe. Hey, if you enjoy these beach walks, keep in mind nobody pays me to be out here and do this. I enjoy doing it. If anybody wants to make a little contribution, it always helps out. Keeps the phone on. Without the phone, I wouldn't be out here. If you do want to help out there, you can find my PayPal account info in the description of this post a little later, or in other videos posted on my Facebook page. Every little bit helps. Thank you. To those that have sent something, thank you very much. Still seeing the dead eels on the beach here. The water isn't full of them like it was on Saturday. That was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. Check out Saturday's beach walk video. I mean, it was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. Never seen eels like that on the beach. There's a big dead toadfish up here on its laying over on its back, with an eel next to it. Ugh. Red tide, go away, man. There's where Audrey's bench is. Roy's late wife, Audrey. I showed you her picture yesterday when I was over at Roy's. Right up there under the trees is where the bench is that he had put here in her memory, with that beautiful poem. You can see some pictures of it on Facebook. I posted them last week. Audrey's bench. Well, we're not seeing any of that, the life, the activity in the water that we saw a few days ago. Very ugly color up here. Saturday, all we saw were crabs, crabs, crabs. It looked like a carpet, a brown carpet here. Just crab after crab after crab. The whole entire beach. And eels. Just thousands and thousands of eels out here in the water. Now everything's disappeared. It doesn't take long for that red tide to kill things. So sad. Another lightning whelk. Got some chips in it there. This one looks like it's been buried for a little while. It's got some green algae. Leave that up on the beach for somebody else. I haven't been up to Wiggins Pass for a while, but I'm not going to make it up there this morning. Just getting late here. I got to turn around and make my way back here shortly. There's another whelk, another lightning whelk, a smaller one. Oh, we've seen lots of whelks out here this morning. Sad to think of all the things that are dying, you know, when you think of all the marine life that's dying, a lot of people don't think about the shells. You know, all these whelk shells that I'm picking up on the beach, they had, you know, the snails inside. They're all dying from the red tide too. A lot of these beautiful shells we're finding on the beach. Well, every shell at one time had something alive inside. It's kind of mind-boggling when you think about it. When you see the gazillion shells on the beach, think that had a living animal inside it at one time. There's another whelk down here. Another one right down there, a broken one. That look at that. That's a little one with a big hole in it. I'll toss that up on the beach too. Somebody would like that, put it on a necklace. I'm surprised I haven't found any moon shells. No moon shells. Sure, there's some lace murex shells out here. I'm just not seeing them. You really got to take your time. There's a lot of shells out here. We're at low tide right now. There's a lot of shells on the beach. Just so you know, we did see our dolphins this morning. We had 3 dolphin sightings this morning. Nothing like yesterday morning, but we did see some dolphins already. We still might see some as I make my way back here. We might see them returning, actually. kind of crab is that? What kind of crab is that? What is that? I've never seen a crab like that. Wow. I'm gonna take a picture of that. Bear with me here. I've never seen a crab like that. Wow. I have never seen a crab like that. Sadly, it's pretty almost expired here. It's barely moving. I don't know what kind of crab that is. Wow. Huh. Very interesting. Never know what you're gonna find on the beach. I'll share a picture of that later this morning. That's as far as I'm gonna go. This is the north end of Del Norwiggins Pass State Park. And as you can see, we have lost a lot of beach up here, a lot. The beach used to go way out to here. Look at it. It's history. Nothing left of it. Irma put the icing on the cake last year, last September, Hurricane Irma. Terrible. Gosh, it couldn't be any flatter out there. What's sad though is I do see dead fish floating out there. Look at this beautiful, beautiful little baby fighting conch shell. How cool is that? That's a little keeper there. There's some nice little piles of shells on the beach here. Nice little piles. If you don't mind an occasional dead crab or eel, you might find something really nice up here before the tide comes in. Anybody just tuning in, we're up in North Naples, Florida, at Del Norwiggins Pass State Park. We are still under a red tide warning. Lots of dead marine life on the beach. If you don't know what red tide is, please take the time to Google it and read up on it. I just posted a nice little story about red tide that National Geographic wrote. I would suggest you read that. It's sad, it's horrible, the red tide. We've been dealing with it for eons. Since the 1700s was the first documented case of red tide, whatever you want to call it, outbreak of red tide. So it's nothing new, but I'm sure that red tide, that red algae has changed over the years just because of all the trash we dump out in our Gulf of Mexico, all the waste we put out there. I'm sure that red algae bloom has evolved from what it was back in the 1700s. Probably a lot more toxic. Hopefully someday scientists will be able to figure out a way to get rid of it. But here's one of the victims of the red tide. That's a moray eel right there. A dead moray eel. That's about, 16 inches probably in length. A dead moray eel killed by the red tide. We have had lots of eels on the beach, dead eels. Here's another eel, not a moray. Dude, do take the time to watch my video from Saturday, my Saturday morning beach walk. Absolutely incredible amount of eels in the water here on Saturday. Now they're all gone. Now they're dead, washing up on the beach, or they've washed out into the Gulf. I don't know exactly what happened to them, but they're not here anymore. There were thousands of them, thousands and thousands of them here along the beach on Saturday. Now they're all gone. Same with crabs. I mean, I'd say there was millions of them out here. Just watch the video, it's amazing. Saturday's beach walk. All the crabs that were here on Saturday, it does not surprise me. They're washing up on the beach dead, all over the place now. And why do you think that is? It's because they're eating the garbage. They're eating the toxic fish, the fish that died of red tide. There's one bobbing around in my shadow right there. That's a dead one, just floating around. There's a couple live ones crawling around, but see, that's a dead one. There's a live one crawling around right out there. There's another one still alive right down here, right in that little streak of light. See him walking along? How long will they be around? Who knows? It seems everything that eats that poison fish dies. There's an eel swimming along here. If you look close, see it down there? There's a live eel. So there's still a few eels here, but nothing like it was on Saturday. Like I said, check out Saturday's video. It's gonna blow your mind. You're never gonna go in the water again after watching that video. More dead stuff over here in the water. There's two crabs mating. There's two crabs mating down there. I'm sure they're all just gonna die though. Two crabs, we caught them in the act. They just, they must realize they're on camera. Where'd they go? Yeah, interesting. Making little baby crabs. Huh. Yeah. Well, we actually saw quite a few of those. A lot of that action on the beach on Saturday. There's another dead one. Dead blue crab. You can see right behind it a little baby one washed up on the beach. There's a piece of a worm shell over there, that long skinny thing. Not a pretty sight out here. There's dead fish in the water, dead fish on the beach. Got some nice piles of shells, but then you know, look around and there's a dead eel or a dead crab in them. Not the most pleasant conditions for shelling. So sad seeing all this dead marine life. You know, I do have much happier videos. Please take the time to go through my videos. We've had some wonderful beach walks here at Del Norwegians. As recent as last week, the water was clearing up. Birds everywhere, fish everywhere. We're seeing schools of snook and jack. Huge schools of fish out here. And then just 3 nights ago, the wind shifted and the red tide returns. Where I'm walking right now. A couple of weeks ago, this beach right here, this is actually a sandbar. It does get submerged, but this sandbar was just covered with birds, covered. Hundreds of birds. It was quite a sight. Now they're just about all gone. There's 2 little sandpipers up here in front of me. Wow. There's a beautiful scallop shell. A beautiful scallop. That's a gorgeous shell right there. Definitely a keeper going into the scallop collection. That's a great one. Yeah, you can still find some beauty out here. Kind of is what it is. What it is. It is what you make of it out here. I know there's a lot of people out there that are just all about the negative. Sometimes you got to step back and refocus. Try to find the positive things in life. Try to find the positive things about the beach here. Well, thank God we still have a beach. Wow. Earlier I was saying I wish I'd find a moon shell. Well, here's one. There's a big moon shell right here. They also call it a shark eye. See that little center there? They call these shark eyes. This is a moon shell. I was hoping to find one of those to show everybody this morning. Hadn't seen one of these in a while. Lo and behold, here one just washed up as I was walking by. The shell gods are always kind to me. I keep asking for some old Spanish doubloons here on the beach, but they haven't done that yet. Maybe some old gold bars. Some old pirates booty. I'd love to find that washed up on the beach. It's so calm out here. I was really expecting to see some more dolphins come by. I was really anticipating seeing a few more dolphins here. Yesterday morning they were all over the place, up and down the beach. It really wasn't much of a beach walk yesterday. It was more of Rob running up and down the beach chasing the dolphins. Crazy. It was a nice break though from seeing all the dead crap on the beach. You know, there's another Facebook page there. I think it's Naples Photo Blog. You can go down there. They do beach walks down to the south of us. I don't think they tell it like it is. They're more fluff. But you can see what the beach looks like down there. And use your own eyes. Make your own judgments. And this red tide is all around us. It's not just going to disappear overnight. I don't care what anybody tells you. I don't care what any report says. We're going to be dealing with the effects of this red tide for a long time. Unfortunately. I am not out here to promote tourism. Although some of my videos, it looks like that. Some of my older videos, my past videos. There's a live crab out in the water. Nice to see something moving around. It'll probably take off when I get to it. Once he sees me moving around, if it's alive. Thought it was yep. Oh, it's two of them. It's two more crabs mating. Ah, the big one and a smaller one. He likes the younger girls. It's got a chip in it, but it's an interesting looking scallop shell there. Got a chip on the side of it. That's a nice looking neat looking scallop. I wish it wasn't chipped. Very, very few people here walking the beach. The water just does not look very nice. Still cloudy. Just has the smell of dead fish. Doesn't really have that strong toxic odor of the red tide. It just has that stench of dead fish. a week ago. A week ago from today, I stood out there, right there on that little point of sand over there, looked back behind me and took some pictures. And this water was absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful blue-green water. Not that way now. All murky. Just terrible. The tide is just turning, just starting to come back in now. What's it going to bring with it? What's it going to dump on our beaches? As I turn around here and look to the north, it's not the same. It's not the same as it was last week. Go back and look at some of my photos. Look at this and then go look at those photos from last week. It was beautiful here, absolutely gorgeous. What was nice is there was actually people returning to the beach. People are finally starting to come back to the beach. People are actually starting to go swimming again. And then just like someone flipped the switch, bam, the red tide was back. Overnight. Just rolled in just before sunset. I believe it was Thursday when it came back. There's so many dead crabs on the beach. There's one there. There's just tons of little baby dead crabs all over. This is all little dead crabs down here. Just piles of dead crabs.
All little baby dead crabs.
This right here. Look at that.
Look at all the crabs. Dead crabs. Terrible. A terrible sight.
People say, why am I out here showing people this? Why am I out here doing this? Well, why do you think I'm out here doing it? Most of you know the answer. It's to educate people. I mean, if you don't live here or if you've never visited here, you don't know what's going on here. You don't know what red tide is. You might hear stuff in the news. Definitely in the news. Most of the time they get their facts screwed up. The best way to learn something is read about it. Google it. The internet is such a wonderful tool now to get information. Google red tide. And, excuse me, don't just go to one site. Go to multiple websites and read about red tide. You're going to learn a little something different everywhere you go. Each article has its own little spin. So read them all. Make your own conclusions about what's going on with the red tide, where we're headed. Is it getting worse? Is there any chance of doing something about it? You know, draw your own conclusions. And then share your information with others. That's what this page is all about. It's about sharing information. Creating awareness. I feel sorry for this little snowy egret out here looking for something to eat. It got a little fish. It just ate one. I hope it doesn't get sick. You shouldn't be eating those, little guy. Sad to think about the possibilities. But I'm sure it's starving. There's not been many fish out here lately. Well, we didn't see any dolphins on our walk back. We saw 3 sightings this morning, earlier this morning, 3 dolphin sightings. So you're definitely gonna want to go check that out. It's always fun seeing dolphins. It's good to know they're out here. Hey, if you enjoy these beach walks, and if you understand the purpose of them, be sure to share them with your friends. Be sure to like and follow Southwest Florida Television. Remember, nobody pays me to be out here doing this. If you want to make a contribution, it's always welcome and appreciated. Not asking for the moon here, just something to help with the phone bill and maybe the car insurance, whatever. The other day I was coming home from Fort Myers. I was up at that Vintage Market Days event up in Fort Myers on my way home. Somebody dropped a chair out of a truck in front of me. I slammed my brakes on. Somebody came and just slammed into my rear end. And they took off. The truck just kept on driving and the car that rammed me in the rear took off. And now I'm stuck fixing that. I just fixed the car up. Just got a new bumper in the front and had some body work, got it painted. Now the new bumper's messed up and the back, I don't know what happened to the back. It's all under like a plastic cover, but it's making some funky noises, so gotta get repaired. And of course the insurance isn't gonna pay for much of it. So if anybody wants to make a little contribution, thank you. You can find my PayPal account info in the description of this post a little later. There's a dead toadfish. You've seen a lot of those on the beach, the dead toadfish. And the dead crabs. One of our rangers just picking up dead eels as he drives along on the beach. It's a never-ending task. A never-ending task.
Never-ending.
Man,
Sure.
Crabs. I knew that.
Blue crabs and eel today.
I knew all those crabs were going to show up dead. Yeah, eating the
A
dead.
lot of the eel actually are not dead though. I went to pick them up and they're going back into the water.
Yeah, what is with that? I don't know what's going on.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to do some research on
Are
that
they
to
like
find out.
laying eggs on the beach?
They burrow in tail first.
Yeah, I've seen them doing that.
Yeah, if you move one, it'll burrow in tail first. So I don't know if this is where they typically live or a little further
Yeah, I know,
out.
it's really weird.
But for some reason they're out of the sand today.
Yeah.
stone crabs washed up today
Yeah,
also.
I saw those too, the stone
Yeah,
crab.
I saw 1 or 2 stone crabs, but blue crabs, and I haven't made it to the north end of the beach, but I heard there's more fish down on the north end
Yeah,
of the beach.
yeah.
Down
Oh,
there.
well,
Have a good day, sir.
yeah, have a good one. So sad. What a horrible job, huh? And you see how it's done here at the state park. All done by hand. It's either done by staff or volunteers. We're always looking for volunteers here to help clean up the beach. All you gotta do is just Google Del Norwegian's past state park. You'll see the phone number there. Call the ranger station. Tell them you want to help with the cleanup effort. They can always use some extra hands. You know, our city has some, and county has some big tractors with, like, I don't know, like big rakes they pull behind them and they sweep the beaches, but the state park just doesn't have the money for that. All done with manual labor. So sad. Here's a stone crab. Here's a dead stone crab washing up on the beach. And it's full of eggs. She is just full of eggs. You can see when she flips over there, that's the egg sac. A dead stone crab. What a shame. These are a real delicacy here, the stone crabs. They only harvest 1 claw when they harvest the stone crabs. So there's one that's never gonna make it. With a big egg sac at that, a female loaded with eggs. Horrible. Horrible, horrible to see these things. You know, we see all of these sea creatures. What's it doing to us? What's it doing to us? Think about that. How long is it going to continue? Is it ever going to end? Is it going to get worse instead of better? Not a very pleasant thought, is it? What is happening to our water? What did we do to our water? What did greed do to our water? I guarantee you, it all boils down to greed. Call it pollution, call it what you want, but it's greed that is causing this. There's a group of volunteers, it looks like, down to the south, working down there, picking up the dead animals. More little snowy egrets here. God, I hope they don't get sick eating these little fish. What few little fish there are out here. These are young egrets too. There is not much life out there. I don't know what they're getting. I'm sure they're hungry. Makes them move inland. Nope, didn't get anything. The water is not very pretty. You know, you look out into the Gulf, it's beautiful. The colors are beautiful, the blue sky, the clouds. The water looks blue, it's not, it's just reflecting the color of the sky. It's really a muddy brown when you get close to it. All we can do is hope and pray. Hope and pray that our beach will one day return to normal. And when it does, hope people learn how to take better care of it. We sure haven't done a good job so far. Here's a blue crab with a big egg sac on it. Look at this. Another. All these crabs. All these dying crabs, dead crabs that were getting ready to lay eggs. We saw stone crabs, blue crabs. Look at this blue crab. A beautiful blue crab. Look at all the eggs. That's the egg sac under there. It was just getting ready to lay its eggs. Now it's dead. That is so sad. So sad. Oh well, life goes on here, I guess. Well, be sure to tell your friends about Southwest Florida Television. Take some time to check out my photos and videos. There's some great stuff here when we don't have red tide. Some beautiful videos, some great dolphin encounters. Please share them with your friends. Again, I don't get paid to do this. If you want to make a little contribution, it always comes in handy. Definitely helps out. I really appreciate it. Well, thanks for watching. Have a great week. Happy Monday. For Southwest Florida Television, I'm Robb Stan. God bless.